Alright, so I talk about it a lot, but this will probably be one of the first videos I've actually posted of doing something with it. So we'll call this the overview of my 1994 Chevy S10. It's a short bed regular cab. Once upon a time it looked like a pretty dang good truck, but last 4 or 5 years it's been shopped out to brothers-in-law or my brother, other people. It just doesn't fit my life right now. Here's a photo of what it used to look like. And here's what it is today. I'll do a little bit of a walk around, walk through, check out some of the features and things I've done. Obviously it's not stock height, but it is only just a 2-inch body lift and some fender work. And then right there you can see I spent all that time sanding and painting. Had my little boys doing the work, in fact. And we used Duplicolor. Primed it, sanded it, everything, and slowly but surely it's peeling all the way off. That's why I won't touch Duplicolor again. And we did. You can see here we sanded, tried to get through the clear coat of what was done by Gypsum Auto Body up there in Colorado, and I'll never ever touch those idiots again. Because quite honestly, you can see right there, peeling. They did the blend work. When I got into an accident, that's when I replaced with the fiberglass fenders and the cowl induction hood, and that's when it got its first upgrade. And when they painted, they blended back into the door, but 18 months afterwards, everything they'd done, you can see they kind of stopped somewhere in here, somewhere back here. All they did ended up peeling off. The clear coat separated. But yeah, for now it's 2-inch body lift. Opened up the fenders there. If you know the stock line's good enough, you can see that I opened up the rear fenders, sliced, dice, re-welded it back together, and that way it fits basically 33s. You can see a lot of the tube work there, you know, the sidebars, the front bumper, the rear bumper. All of that was scrap steel from the job site, except for some of the angle iron and flat plate and diamond plate. But the tubes themselves, the job site I was working on at the time had a fence built out of these things and plywood, and so they were just dumping all this steel in the trash. So I took like 7 or 8 of the best sticks that were there, and that's how I built what I built here. Because obviously a stock bumper would not have come out there to give protection to the flared out fiberglass, so I did that. I love here is you notice the disparity in lights. When you look close, my brother, who's a welder, while he had it, and he was taking it off-road and going shooting and hunting and stuff, and this snapped off because I only welded topside. I figured it's just a frickin' light tab, it should hold. No, it snapped off. The other side of that story is the fact that he's a welder and he has his own welding trailer, and he didn't have the common decency to weld it back on. But that's what happens when you loan to your family. And you notice it's got these stupid lights. You've ever had one of these trucks, Blazer or S10, these lights suck. And I'll fix that in the next video. But when I replaced the bumper, I went with these. These nice LED ones, 23 LEDs with little reflectors. They are freaking sweet. But these lights suck so bad, I wired in those to give it additional driving light. So they're wired into the low beam circuit, and those are wired into just the fog lights. And all of these KC 6-inchers are on the high beams. But yeah, in the future I'll be getting a new hood, because this one's got some dents there. Never mind who did that. That latch gets sticky. If you don't grease it, it goes bad. If you wonder what the coating is here, all of this is, and the bumpers too, it's Durabac. And that's the smooth stuff there. But it's probably been since 2012 since I last coated it. So you figure 5 years, it's faded that much in this high altitude sun. So that's not lasted too well. And it was something that I would every other year recoat. I mean, I first coated it back in 2006 with this, the stuff that's got the rubber flex in it. And it does alright. Yeah, eventually it starts coming up and peeling off. And you can tell I primed underneath there too. But yeah, so I have to rework a lot of that. And given mud flap lops, I did integrate a nice set of mud flaps into the rear bumper. And the rear bumper, I sliced the entire thing, the entire bodywork there. I sliced it and then was able to incorporate more of a side rub rail on it too. But the rear bumper's pretty simple. Rockstomper.com, friend of mine's website. I'm not sure how much he operates that anymore. It used to be his business before the crash of '08. But I have two of those KC lights in the rear for backup lights. You can see exactly how well they do not last. They will go out on you like that. And they get all corroded and they're not as watertight as you might like them to be. So I've got replacements on the way. Look for that in an upcoming video. Those lights are just the basic stop turn trailer lights, again tied into the rear trailer circuit. And that one's a center marking light, so that gives me more light than just the stock ones do. Got a receiving hitch, but I don't really tow much with this truck, obviously. That's kind of an additional point for recovery, although I do have, get my shadow out the way, I do have those points bolted in, and you can see they're right there with the frame reinforcement. So they're tied in right almost directly to the frame. That's a simple bumper I built. Got to Utah, and Utah said it had to be 4 inches, so I had to add all this diamond plate down here and here. So I added all of that in so it could be a 4-inch bumper, because before it used to be all the way up just the tube itself, which made it nice and low profile. Still not bad for a departure angle. Well, that's one of the things I did too. You see that? It's a lift shackle, so it's a little bit bigger than the stock one. Some company called Bones. I don't know when and where I got that. You notice under here too, that is not an S10 axle. No, that's a Moser Ford 9-inch. So I did that when my axle blew. It's got a limited slip diff in it. So it gives the truck a little bit of legs off-road. Tires right now are just these Yokohamas, which they're okay. This truck spends most of the time on-road anyway. Gears in this thing are 410s. And so it climbs pretty well. This gas cap I'm done with. There's these stupid locks. They always freeze up. So yeah, I'll be replacing that back to a stock lock. Yeah, in the bed. Just got the spare and a toolbox. And yeah, you can see the bed liner there. You can see how trashed all that is in here. There we go, get my finger in the right place. But yeah, that's all trashed. But I'm looking at methods that I'm gonna probably do a DIY spray on it myself, and respray the whole truck, actually, probably, because the paint's already trashed. I don't know if you can see up there, that whole roof, the clear coat's separated, delaminated. I got a couple total breakthroughs and rust spots, so I'll have to take care of those too. That's one of the things I like too. These little lights here, I put them on the side. 2 little LEDs. Where did I get those? Lowe's or something? But tied into this circuit. Which, vagaries of electricity, I understand the basics and I play around with a lot, but I don't know. Those only work if the marker lights are on. Then they work like you'd expect them to. But if the lights are off, then those won't flash. These will, but those won't, unless your parking lights are on. But yeah, I was looking for another signal on the side of the truck like that. Because with the flare, not sure how visible that light is from the side. And then I did some speed holes up here. When I replace the hood, I'll do it more like the Suburban, and I'll put the actual Genrite vents up here. But that was somewhere for all the air to escape out of. Because I did seal off everything in here. You can tell where I've sealed a lot of that. The openings on the inner fender well, I just plated them up and welded them shut. But yeah, so it doesn't give the air too much to go, or too many places to go to. You can tell I had to trim this fiberglass fender back a little bit, and you still get some rubbing in there on a turn and in a bump. I was looking at this through the door. It's missing one of the bolts. Yeah, right back in there, that bolt is missing. I gotta replace that. Like I said, I've been loaning this truck out to everybody because I don't drive it. And they don't take care of it like I would. The interior is nothing special. About the same as what a stock one would be, except for you see those door pods I built. Built those back in '95 or so. Get my shadow out of the way. I don't know if I got a good angle for that. But yeah, just a 6.5 and a 5 1/4 sit there in the door. It gives it plenty of good sound. You notice in the last video I posted, missing that armrest. Been missing it since '95, so I cut myself a little wooden grab bar for it. Well, we'll replace that in an upcoming video too. I also like this idea here, a couple bicycle holders. You can put some Propel or Gatorade bottles in there. And you notice there's a big missing piece right there. My truck got freaking raped when I was in Kosovo. Someone broke into it, took all the stereo they could get before they got caught, and had to take off. Otherwise they might have gotten away with my sub box and amp. They did enough damage there, and jackasses freaking cut my RCA cables instead of unplugging them. They just cut them. That's just rude. Besides the fact that you're already stealing something, then you're going to damage it so I can't just replace it myself. It's horrible. Yeah, it's a 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. Obviously 4-wheel drive. I don't buy 2-wheel drive trucks. Yeah, so they busted that window so it's not tinted, whereas that one is, and the rear glass is. Just haven't gotten around to taking it back to a tinter. I probably will eventually. But yeah, when they raped my truck, they took everything: wheels, tires, everything that was in the back, tool-wise. 6 guys jumped out and just freaking parked beside my truck and just raped it. Just pissed me off. And somebody borrowing it has bent up that handle. That's kind of a pisser. There's the light. I think in the future I'll probably rebuild this entire box into a full box and center console and bring it all the way up there and butting into that. And we'll go that far with some bottle holders and stuff like that. These seats aren't stock either. They're the Elite 2000s from, shoot, who makes these? I forget. When I put them in a while ago, when my bench seat was totally out of padding up here. So I'd be riding on a bar here, and that was not comfortable. So I put them seats in. But otherwise, yeah, very stock, very basic S10. I just popped the hood to see if we can get it open. So here's the engine bay. While I'm here today, I need to give me an angle on that. Golly, sun's just in the wrong position. Nice and warm today. It was rainy and snowy yesterday. And you can see that with the mountains. They're all covered in white again. Should be one of the last snowstorms we get, but if you don't grease this and this on a regular basis, this hood does not like to play well. Obviously not the stock radiator. With the body lift, I had room for a bigger one, so I did put a bigger one, and I found a Summit Racing twin fan setup that I put in there as well. Extreme air filter on top. Someday I need to build some sheet metal around this so it actually mates up with the hood and does actual cowl induction, which would require some sheet metal in here too, and a nice round opening like a cowl induction one would have. But for now, it does draw the air in through the cowl. Optima battery, like always with me, although I have not gone over to the military style ones. I need to do that on this truck too. Looks like a lot of these things are corroded and probably need to replace a lot of that cabling. Yeah, you can see that red line going over there. I replaced it to the alternator. Did not fuse it though. I don't know if that's a problem. It hasn't been for years. But yeah, not too much different. I mean, a throttle body spacer in there, the air filter, and then just a little bit of the electrical work. Otherwise, it's basically stock. There's not much difference about this than any other S10 out there. Just cosmetic and lift, and bigger tires, bigger radiator, bigger air filter. Otherwise, this 4.3 liter V6 runs beautifully. The air conditioner's frosty cold. It's a good truck. And honestly, looking at it, I've got 130,000 miles on it for something that was built almost 25 years ago. Still a pretty good truck. I realize I need another cover. That cover's gone. See, that's what it should be. That's what it's not. I'll have to, next time I hit the salvage yard, junkyard, wrecking yard, whatever you want to call it, the pick and pull. Next time I go there, I'll look for one of those. I got plenty of these S10s, Blazers and otherwise. Have to remember that and the door crank. But yeah, so that's it. That's the overview. Now you can watch from here on out how things change. So that's my 1994 Chevy S10. Love these little trucks. They're wonderful little runners. Been one of the most reliable trucks I've ever owned. Thanks for watching.